and welcome back. Welcome to our weekly show. We call it Three Broke Guys Handicapping. It's where we review one of the top racing cars from around the United States. We will select a 4-race sequence from that track and attempt to come to a consensus on a pick 4 ticket. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for hanging around and coming back. We were on a 2-week break. We skipped a couple of weeks, so now we are up to week number 23 of the racing season, and it finds us back at, well, what I like to think of as Old Faithful. The locals call her Big Sandy. It's Belmont Park, and it's the final jewel in the Triple Crown, the Belmont Stakes. The pick 4 starts in race number 8. It ends in race number 11. It's an all-stakes pick 4 on Saturday. My name is Rich Sharp, and each week I'll be joined by my friends and racing analysts. Our East Coast handicapper from 2 years ago, he was there when American Pharoah captured our hearts and the Triple Crown. But this weekend, he's going to kick it from his home in Staten Island, New York. Ray, it's been 2 weeks since we talked, but like 4 days since we texted. How are you doing, sir?
Good. How are you? Very good. Very excited about today.
You know, it's your big racing day. It's a showcase for the East Coast, but we do have one more handicapper introduced. It's our West Coast handicapper, and he raced home from Temple to get to his home in Temecula, California, so he could join us tonight. We were off the last 2 weeks, but Joe English has been working very hard because tomorrow is his beautiful daughter Lily's bat mitzvah. Behind Joe and Lily and his beautiful wife Denise. I can't believe we're at a bat mitzvah. Where did time go?
Yeah, no kidding, Rich. It's pretty amazing from the day I pulled her out. We pulled her out of Denise's body till today. It's been quite a 13 years. It's awesome, but I'm glad to be back. Glad to be with you with everybody and enjoy. Gonna get ready to enjoy tomorrow, but we got to pick 4 to hit.
Yeah, hit this one.
Can't think of any better way to celebrate Lily's bat mitzvah than by hitting the pick 4 at Belmont on the big day.
Sounds good. Sounds good to me.
In light of some technical difficulties, I was going to skip our question for tonight. I'm going to say that last week, well, there was no last week, as you heard, because we all took a much-needed 2-week break following the Preakness Stakes in Baltimore, Maryland. But we did not hit our pick 4 from Pimlico. It concluded a somewhat dismal first half, if you like, of the season for us. I am not going to dwell on the numbers. So it's time for a brief weather update from Elmont, New York. As a matter of fact, I was going to turn over to New York, to Ray, who is in Staten Island, New York, to tell us what's the weather like in New York this weekend, Ray?
Oh, it's gonna be hot tomorrow, boy. Look at it to be in the 80s, sunny, and it could reach 90. Fast and firm.
Fast and firm. All right,
Yep.
guys, it's the best card of the year that does not include the word Breeders' Cup. A total of 13 races, 10 stakes on tap for Saturday. For today, we are focused on the pick 4, beginning in race number 8 and concluding in race number 11. Gentlemen, the gates are locked and loaded. The outriders are clear, and the starter is ready to pop the gate. It's pick 4 post time.
Let's go.
I'm pushing. Move it.
Here we go. Race number 8. Approximate post time is 3:58 p.m. Eastern time. Guaranteed pool of $1.5 million in the pick 4 tomorrow. It is 1 mile on the turf course. It is the Longines Just a Game Stakes. Grade 1 purse is $700,000 for fillies and mares, 4 years old and upwards. 7 starters and your morning line favorite. I was a little bit surprised at this. 9 to 5 in post number 2 is Roca Rojo, trained by Chad Brown and ridden by Florin Giroux. Gentlemen, I didn't know this. The horse that won the Eclipse Award in 1980 and is the namesake for this race was in fact named Just a Game the Second. Little trivia for you. Ray, you are up on the first grade 1, the first leg of our pick 4. Who do you like in the Just a Game?
Well, we got field of 7, and I was looking at the favorite. Yeah, he looks pretty good. Roca Rojo, which means red rock in Spanish. He's very likely favorite for the hot Chad Brown, who's 33% at the meet. He finished second by a nose to Miss Temple City in the grade 1 matriarch at Belmont last year. So his toss is pretty good. He's 6'8" he's 6'5" 5'3", I'm sorry, with the turf. And he loves Belmont Park. He's 3 for 3. Yeah, 6'8", and he sticks with Florin Giroux. And he's undefeated at Belmont Park, so he's gonna be tough. He's gonna be very tough. I would expect him to be close to more towards even money when the money comes in. I'm not gonna split the Chad Browns here. We got number 7, Antonio. He's a little long shot here. He's stepping up in class. But the way this bond's going, any horse is playable. He's been for France. He had a winning race the first time of this year. He got Castellano and Chad Brown. They're blazing at 40% the last 25 races. So I'm gonna go with those two, the Chad Browns, the 2 and the 7. Just wanted to mention Dickinson, number 1. He's winner of 3 in a row, 5 of 6. He's 5-2. But for my pick 4, I'm gonna leave him off my ticket. But he's playable too. All right, so I'm gonna go with the 2 and the 7. Joe, what do you guys say about the Just the Game stakes?
Well, what I will say is, I will disagree with you slightly on this, Ray. And I am shocked, like Rich, that Roca Rojo is the favorite, because if you look at Dickinson's PPs in that last race, she beat Lady Eli, and everybody in New York and a lot of people around the country love Lady Eli. And the fact that she beat Lady Eli, I really think the money's going to come in on Dickinson more than I think they're going to. I'm hopeful that they're going to play that Chad Brown, Lady Eli angle, as opposed to playing Chad Brown, because the trainer can only do so much. The horse is the one who actually has to run. So I really kind of think Dickinson is going to be the favorite at post time. And I think it's actually going to be kind of more like 1 7-5, 1 8-5. And I think there'll be quite a spread after that. I'm with you on Roca Rojo. She ran a nice race in the Distaff Turf Mile at Gulfstream, and you mentioned the second by a nose to Miss Temple City at Del Mar last year. That was Roca Rojo's first race off the layoff. As a 5-year-old, I'm not sure how much you can expect her to improve, but her figures are pretty much better than everybody else's in here. Florent Giroux stays. Obviously, you mentioned she's undefeated at Belmont. And one more thing I'll say about her is, if you look at her PP, she can pretty much do anything. You saw the last time out, she was second. She was up close to the pace, set by Believe in Birdie, and she got to her late. But you see the races in the Matriarch and the Athenia, she was a lot further back. So I think that the pace will set up. I think that Sassy Little Lila will press Celestine a little bit. And I think Roca Rojo will either sit in behind, or maybe what they might try to do is angle off the rail if she's even a little more keen than usual, and get her a clear path so she can be outside those two horses and get first run on the others. And really, she's the one I like the best. She's the one I like the most in here. So the races later on are so tough and were a lot more difficult for me. And with the short field here, I'm figuring that the best way to get through this is to single Roca Rojo and hope that if I can get through with her, I would have a lot more coverage in my own personal pick for later. So I just went with the 2, Roca Rojo for me, Florent Giroux and Chad Brown. Can't fault the connections there. So 2 on top for me, and on my own ticket, that's the only number I'm going with. So I will hand it off to Rich. And Rich, I see you have a check mark on a horse I did mention in my analysis of this race. So give us the scoop on Dickinson.
Yeah, and I didn't go much deeper than the 2 of you. As a matter of fact, I actually considered just using the 3 that I already heard mentioned here. So I'm not splitting my Chad Browns and then throwing as my top choice. I do like Dickinson. Godolphin Racing, Kieran Laughlin. The only reason that this horse hasn't won 6 in a row is because of horses that were named Sandiva and Seacoast and Isabella Sings. Now, there are some really solid horses in this race, so that merits some consideration. But you go back to September of 2016, and Dickinson has just been that on fire horse that has just kept going up in conditions all the way up to winning the Denny Wiley there on April 15th, my birthday, by the way, at Keeneland. That is just a sensational race. And again, Joe already touched on it. Anybody who beats Lady Eli is going to be the morning line favorite, or is going to be very, very close to the morning line favorite. The only reason that she wouldn't be the morning line favorite would be because of Mr. Chad Brown. Everybody just knows what he does. And him and Florent Giroux being such a solid combination. So I thought about just using the top 2 choices here, going 1-2. And sometimes I'll feel the pressure and things like that of, I'll hear that voice, that guy that I know that's just there and tells us all, hey, you know what? Don't split your Chad Brown, right? No.
Yeah.
I think that I will settle here on. I'm struggling. I think I'm just going to settle with the one of the two. I am going to break my own rule, but although Antono with Judgmont Farms does look very solid. 1-2 for me. Joe, you know what? Joe's got a lot of confidence here. He's singling on the Red Rock, and Ray's on 2 and 7, so he did not split a Chevron. Got that? Did I get that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Come on back to you guys here. All right, and we are going to move along here to race number 9. Race number 9, they're going 1 mile on the main track, just one turn here at Belmont. It is the Mohegan Sun Metropolitan Handicap, the Met Mile, if you like. Grade 1, purse is $1.2 million. This is a handicap for 3-year-olds and upward. 12 starters, and your morning line favorite is in post number 9. This is More Spirit, trained by Bob Baffert and ridden by Mike Smith. He is 5-2 on the Belmont morning line. So the Met Mile, I don't know if folks knew this, it's a 19th century artifact as they first started running it in 1891. The last year's winner, Frosted, not only knocked us out of the pick 4, but he set the record in this race. So, Joe, you are up on the Metropolitan Handicap, but, you know, just remember, even though we're in New York, who's watching?
Well, I'm sorry. He can watch me all he wants. This race was really difficult, obviously. He's got the best speed figures in the race, him and Sharp Azteca. The problem I see is that they're both the same kind of horse. And too many times, I just don't expect that one is going to back off from the other. I guess type A's of men and horses. To me, I'm thinking there's going to be some kind of battle here, and there are horses in this race who can take advantage of a battle like that. And if for whatever reason, I know Mike Smith's not going to want to do it, and I know I'm trying to figure out who the draw. And I know Paco Lopez is a speed guy too. I can really very easily see those two. I know Mike Smith will probably try to rate off of Sharp Aztec and maybe let him go. But More Spirit was obviously very sharp last time at Lone Star. I really didn't know what to make of this race, except that I don't want to see favorite, even in a $1.5 million pool, because that really will depress the prices. So I'm going deeper, and I actually threw out both More Spirit and Sharp Aztec on my tickets. My top choice, and it's obviously I went 4 deep on my own personal ticket. My top choice is on the outside. Awesome Slew ran a great race to win the Commonwealth, ran almost as well to just get nipped by another horse I actually have now have a soft place in my heart for, Limousine Liberal, who I picked at 13-1 amongst the 3 of us that day at Churchill Downs. He would be the horse who could take advantage of a hot pace. He's not going to be up close early. He's obviously good around 1 turn. He's been good at 7 furlongs. The last 2 figures have been good, and as a 4-year-old, I think there's even room for more forward development. Mark Casse may have had a disappointment with Classic Empire not being able to run as the morning line favorite in the Belmont. But I think Awesome Slew can make up for it here. He's obviously not going to get a ground-saving trip. He can be off the rail, but he's not going to be up close anyway. He's going to make one of those big looping moves that Big Sandy's known for anyway. He's 6-1 in the morning line. He's working well. That 47 at Churchill Downs, that bullet looks pretty good to me. Best of 54. Joel Rosario is going to be fine. And it's 6-1. If I can get 6-1 on this horse, I would take it. Like I said, he's my top choice. There are a couple other horses I like in here. I want to save at least a couple of them for later. But I do want to mention the 2 Rally Cry, who runs for Ray's buddy, Paul Pompa, and Todd Pletcher. The figure in that allowance race that he earned, that buyer speed figure, was 106. And if it's legitimate, it puts him right up there with More Spirit and Sharp Aztec, and he'll be able to sit right off the pace. The problem is, I just hope if he doesn't have to sit too close to the pace, he may be the one who gets the lead off the top of the turn, but he may have to hold off Awesome Slew. I'm not sure exactly how this race is going to play out, but I know Rally Cry is going to be at least somewhat close to the pace, and he's probably going to get first run. So my top two choices in that order are 12 and 2. I will talk more about a couple of other long shots that I like that could fill out this race and maybe fill out the underneath spots in the tries and supers. But the top two picks are 12, Awesome Slew, and Rally Cry, the two for me. Ray, what is your opinion of the Met Mile? And yes, I miss having this race on Memorial Day.
Yeah. Well, I still see a great blow from last year. Oh my God, that horse fly. He flew home.
Yeah, nobody was going to beat him last year.
Nobody. But actually, there's gonna be a nice speed duel here with more spirit. But Sharp at Tester, he's a miler. I mean, his horse can. I think he can weather a storm and still run. Finish. I'm gonna pick him on top. He's part of a slew of horses I have here because this race is pretty deep. He's with 4 out of 5 in the mile. He dazzled us last year. I remember the Pat Day mile. I still remember that race. We're like, wow. And he's had some good strong races in Gulfstream, Handicap at the mile. He just missed in Godolphin mile by third by a length. And I believe I saw a little interview today that the trainer was not happy with the ride, so he's replacing Sharp Azteca with Paco Lopez. And but he'll have Boss Will his flank, so it's gonna be a good race down the backstretch. Little chess match there. I got a couple of closers here ready to come if the race falls apart. The number 8, Tom's Ready. He's been closing well 7 furlongs. And Castellano will come charging on the outside. It's kind of like what Arnico did a few years back. Willie Stevens winner, last year's Belmont Day, so he likes the track. So I like him. I like your horse, Joe, 12, Awesome Slew. Yeah, he's been closing 7 furlongs in the Commonwealth, and he goes Churchill Handicap. He went well, and he's finished second to Sharp Azteca in the Gulfstream Handicap. So he's been there. He's 4 out of 12, 9 in the money, so he'll be winning. I got a few other horses much later also. Yes, my Paul Pompa's running. My relation to them are Jerry McLennan. He's the racing manager, so I'm pretty good friends with him, and we both together in the same league, so in the same house. So he likes to. We like to talk horse racing all the time. So, but I wish him luck also. So for now, I'm gonna pick 5, 8, and 12 in the Met Mile. Rich, what do you think about the Metropolitan Handicap? Actually, they named it now the Mohegan Sun Metropolitan Handicap, so that's another sponsor there for the Met Mile. Yeah, yeah, another sponsor. Yeah, they got some money for it too, 1.2 million.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if it's the bobblehead doll who stares at me, or if it's just the fact that Bob Baffert's on fire right now. The fact that he's one of the hottest trainers in the country now. Big surprise, go run until 60 minutes. This is one of the hottest horses. This is a really good race, as it always is. But last year, this could have been, if you look at the contestants who are here, this would have been a Derby prep last year. This got most of the horses that were on the Kentucky Derby Trail just a year ago, or several of them were on the Derby Trail a year ago, all lining back up here in the Met Mile. I think of those horses from the 4-year-olds who are coming back, that you're looking at the best one so far. Again, Baffert lately looks like he's got his game going back on. He kind of got snuffed out of the Triple Crown this year. Didn't really even have a starter or a contestant for one of those 3 races. It looks like maybe his older division is doing a little bit better now. So I did eat the chalk here. I'm not happy about it. It's a 12-horse race. It's a deep field. Sharp Azteca would be the other horse, so I'm only going 2 deep here as far as that's concerned. A year ago, I wouldn't have done this because I still believed in that bounce from Dubai. I thought the Dubai bounce would have happened. But the winner of this race just a year ago, Foston, kind of put that one to rest. So believing in Jorge Navarro, I really do. I kind of like the switch to Paco Lopez. I usually don't like when I see this kind of a thing, but I kind of like the switch to Paco Lopez on a horse like Sharp Azteca. The horse has one way to go. He's gas pedal all the way. And he's amazing at what he can do at the 1 mile distance. He really does hold it. So I went 9.5 here. This could be a potential though for me because I don't have a single anywhere on my card just yet. And I really have decided that when I'm playing tip fours, I do like to have that single to give me the coverage in one of those races. It's either the first or the second leg. So either I'm going to be singling Dickinson or I'm singling More Spirit here. So I'm just going to go 9.5. It looks like Joe is just going to go 12.2. And it looks like Ray is going 5, 8, 12. Go ahead and come on back. And we are moving along now to race number 10. Thank you, Ray, for reminding me about the Mohegan Sun. That's a casino that's out there in New York, right?
Yes, in Connecticut, yeah.
Here we go. We're on to race number 10. This is 1 mile on the inner turf. It is the Woodford Reserve Manhattan Stakes. The grade 1, the purse is $1 million. And again, they are going on the inner turf. It is for 4-year-olds and upward. 9 starters, and your morning line favorite is in post number 3. I'm going to start calling him Ray's Little Pony. It's World Approval, trained by Mark Cassie and ridden by Julien Leparoux, comes in as your 3-1 morning line favorite. If you thought the mile was old, the Manhattan dates back to 1884 at something called Morris Park Racetrack in the Bronx. It moved to Belmont in 1905. All right, Ray. In addition to your horse, we've also got Beach Patrol, we've got Wake Forest, we've got Divisadero and Sadler's Joy. We could call this the usual suspect stakes. What do you like in the Manhattan Stakes?
These are all our friends.
I don't even need the race.
We can have a little post play with these horses, a little circus, and because these horses, these are our friends here. Where do I start? Let's see.
Come on, what do you mean? Where do you start?
These are my friends. How can I pick against them? All right. Well, you know what? I'm gonna go for a new face here. Number 4, Time Test. He had a good prep in his last first time US, and there he is in Chad Brown again. Can't stay away from him. He's so hot. He's 3 out of 4 at distance. He ran some big races down. Actually, he's looking for some big races down north. I think this is his 5 votes. So this should be a start of it. He's working well on the firm turf, and I think he won a good race with Castellano. I do like number 1, Beach Patrol. He's been a grade 1 warrior, and he runs better past 9 furlongs. So he's going to be prompt, close to the lead. He's got 4 seconds in a row at a mile and 8, so maybe the pace in this race might get him over the hump. Giroux, gonna have a good trip on the rail, and he's 11 out of 12. Sorry, 10 out of 12 in the money, 3 wins, 5 seconds. So he'll be there. It's a matter of the trip you get, beat on the rail. Should open up for him. I do like number 2, Wake Forest. He's 8-1. I mean, you can't forget this horse. I mean, this is like. That's just a trap on triple here. He loves the distance, and the further you go, the better he is. So I like him. And there's some good horse here who might be suspect of the distance. So Irad Ortiz might be able to get that final push here. He's 8 for 20, his lifetime 40%. So his horse likes to win. His last race was on horrible conditions. I remember being at the airport watching this race, and Jacoby just loved that that grass that was like so soft. I mean, it was pouring that day, but and he won the Man of War on the course, so I'll give him a shot here too. And then my old friend, number 3, World Approval. What can I say? Lovely little gray horse, my pony. But he's been winning at mile and 8, and now he's trying to go 10 furlongs for the first time. To win. He's 3rd in Manhattan last year. Maybe now he'll get a little stronger. He can make the 10 furlongs. He's back in 3 weeks for this, so he's a little vulnerable favorite for me, honestly. So I put him 4th on my ticket, but I gotta include him. So that's where I'm gonna go. 4, 1, 2, and 3. Sounds like a Yonkers race. Joe, what do you think about the Manhattan?
Okay, any movie buffs out there? Rich, Ray, you guys like the movies? Anybody remember the
You
movie?
guys can't see me, but
Anybody remember the movie Freaky Friday? Being the today's Friday.
yeah.
Remember Freaky Friday, where people switch bodies and have different, I guess it was like, who was that? Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis. Was that I want to say those are the two actresses.
That's the most recent reincarnation.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry to digress, but Ray not picking world approval and me picking world approval. This is Freaky Friday.
Oh,
It's got to be Freaky. It's got to be Freaky Friday.
It's a transformation. Wait, Wonder powers activate.
Something's not right about this.
All we need is to
World approval.
I might take it. I didn't pick it. I might take it.
World approval ran lights out last time.
Hey,
second start as a 5-year-old. I expect him to get the same trip here. The only difference is instead of running down, I'm trying to remember the Shug McGahee horse, Security Risk, I think might have been the name of the horse at Pimlico. He's going to have to run down Beach Patrol on the front end. But I think he's going to get the same trip. And I think I found it kind of interesting that if you look at I know Rich loves to do the jockey thing. Julian Leperoux rode Divisadero in his last 2 races. Guess who is he sticking with today?
Yeah.
He's sticking with world approval. He's not going with Divisadero. So that tells me that Julian Leperoux obviously likes world approval's chances here. So why should I change course? Again, he didn't beat I don't think the field that Divisadero beat I think the field that Divisadero beat at the Turf Classic was a little better than the field that world approval beat in the Dixie. But again, the jockey to me makes the difference. And it's like, well, why if Cassie and Fleperoux stays there, I'm going to go with him. I know he's a tepid morning line favorite. I know Ray thinks he's vulnerable, and he probably is off that last race. But turf horses tend to bounce less often, and like you say, he's back in 3 weeks for this. If this was like 7 or 8 weeks, then I'd be like, oh, maybe I would say, well, that's not necessarily a good thing. The fact that he's coming back quickly tells me that the horse is doing well. The horse worked at Churchill in 48-1 last time out. So like I said, I'm on world approval. He's my top choice. I have others in here. I do like, and it's funny, I was telling the guys off air a few weeks ago, I was waiting for Sadler's Joy to run back. And I was hoping he would actually run in the Turf Classic on Derby Day. He ended up running against Zukova, the international good thing, in the bog in the middle of the war. And this card, Zukova, the horse got beat a nose by Taglib, who's not bad, and he would be a pretty solid choice in here. I'm just willing to say that maybe the bog was just too much. Nobody was going to beat Zukova anyway. Yeah. I'll take Mike Smith. Obviously, Leperoux had a choice. He could have ridden Sadler's Joy here as well. So I'll take the Mike Smith substitute. I don't think that's a bad choice, a bad way to go. He's going to get an outside trip. He's going to get a lot firmer track than he did last time out. So I think he's going to have a much better shot to run well today. And I do have a long shot in this race that I do like, but I'll stick with just the 2 picks for now. The 3 on top, world approval with Sadler's Joy in the second spot for me in the Woodford Reserve, Manhattan. Rich, will you take Manhattan?
Oh, God, I would love to take Manhattan. And as you guys got to see that, I almost thought I would get through at least one of these races without my check mark coming up first, but here it is. It is on Sadler's Joy. Although I will tell you that if you toss out Chad Brown in this race, then you are crazy. Initially, I thought that this was just a race where you would say Chad Brown's going to win it. I'm not sure which of his horses is going to win it, but being Beach Patrol, Wake Forest, and I really like this horse. When he was on the top. My top three, those are right here. All I Want, Chris Cat. That way I can put him right in with the Bob Baffer ones, and he can shake his head up and down at me when I do stupid stuff. I thought initially that Joe, I thought you were going to end up here when you started talking about film and asking about movie buffs. Of course, I'm a film major from college, as is your wife, and I thought for sure you were over here with Battleship Potemkin. In the end, I did settle on, and Joe already kind of got there with it. But as you saw here, I fired up my buddy Ray's old favorite machine, which is the Keno machine. So that's why I'm looking for a single in one of those first two races, because I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 9. I do not see much variation. I didn't see it the way that Joe did. Beach Patrol is a bit of a stubborn leader, and even in a mile and quarter, he's very quick and he doesn't give up the lead very easily. And I don't see World Approval getting an easy trip sitting just off of him, and I don't see him being able to put him away just easy. That being said, World Approval being the kind of horse that he is, I think he could win. I also think Beach Patrol could hold him off and win. And Joe kind of caught on to what I was really looking for here. Even though there are 3 Chad Browns in this race, and I think you'd be crazy to not have all 3 of those on your ticket. I actually did settle with Sadler's Joy. If you go back for a few episodes, you can sit there and say, Rich, you must have something for this horse because you keep picking him. And I do. He got beat that last race by Zukova. That was the race that Joe told us to single Zukova, and we didn't do it. There was, as you see there, the minus 23 on the second call. They didn't even have a first call on that one in the mile and a quarter in the Man of War. They were just jogging, and the reason they are is I imagine they didn't have a sundial available to time it for the first call. They were going so slow in that race as I watched it, and I had my money on Sadler's Joy. They didn't need to get to the first call, and I knew he had no choice. He had no chance. So for me, I scratched that race. I did not look at that third at all. Or that. And if you look at the horses races before that, it was just it was just Tylese that got him at one time, just by a head. Otherwise, he's on 5 in a row. He had won 5 races in a row. And again, I thought he had no chance whatsoever in the Man of War. So my top pick in this race is the 9. Again, if I was going to back it up, I would back it up with all 3 Chad Browns. I'd go 1, 4, and 2. So those are my 3 backup choices. On my own individual ticket, it's up to me to figure out which one of the 2 that I want to single in the first 2 races, which will then enable me to use 7 out of 9 here, because that's how close I think it is. Rich is just a 9 on top with, again, 1, 2, 4 underneath. I think Joe has got the 3 as his top choice with the 9 as his second choice. And Ray's got 4. So Ray's got the 4 as his top choice with the 1, the 2, and the 3.
I believe Annihilator ran the same mile as the 3/4, the mile in the Man of War. Annihilator, the harness horse.
Yeah, was looking for a sulky out there.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Race number 11. It's the big one. 1.5 miles on the main track. It is the Belmont Stakes, presented by Naira Bets. The Grade 1. Yeah, the purse is $1.5 million for 3-year-olds only. 12 starters, and your morning line ticket starts from post number 7. He's the only one left of the big ones from the original Derby here. Irish War Cry. He's trained by Graham Motion. He's ridden by Rajiv Marag. And he's a tasty 7-2 on the Belmont Park morning line. All right, no Triple Crown on the line. No Always Dreaming. No Cloud Computing. No Classic Empire. But this is a solid field and a great betting race on a fantastic race card. Ray, who do you like in the Belmont Stakes?
Yeah, it is. It's a pretty contentious race. Like I was saying, the most wins of the horses in this race is 4 lifetime wins. So these horses are up and coming. I settled on actually. There's only one Grade 1 winner here, and I kind of like him, Gormley, from your part of the town, West Coast there. He's got the breeding. He can sit close to a pace. He could win close to lead. He's closed in Santana Derby. And he had a little rough time in the Derby, like a lot of horses have. And, that's a forgiving race. He's 4 for 7. Victor Espinoza, he won this race 2 years ago on, who? Oh, American Fowl, okay. and some horse called American Fowl, yeah. But, at 8-1, I'm very tempted with the odds. So I'm going to put him on top. And I also like the top pressure horse, number 2, Taprit. He's also going for the Derby to the Belmont, which is a 5 weeks layoff rest. He was six by 10 lengths in the Derby. Another one with a rough trip. But you figure there was only 2 lengths separating third from sixth, so they were pretty tight in that area. He's 3 for 7. He's been training with long gallops, and Pletcher redemption for Destin's tough loss last year, and Pletcher, they want to run always dreaming 2 weeks apart, but that's not his style. But he took a chance. He was doing well, and now this horse is 5 weeks, so I think he run well. I heard that the 11, I had liked the 11 Epic Hammer's Japanese horse a little bit, but he's been treated for sore foot and going 12 furlongs with a little nagging injury like that. I'm going to stay away from him. So I'm just gonna sell those two, the 3 and the 2 in the Belmont. I don't have a strong opinion of any others. I was Rokai. He's gonna be on the lead, but I'm just gonna pass on him and hope that my 2 horses come in. All right, Joe. We get for the Belmont. I'm going too deep here. That's it.
I got a Keno ticket, to be honest with you. Part of the reason I went with Roca Rojo in the Just a Game is because it was really difficult making heads or tails out of this group. Like Rich said, definitely a very interesting betting race.
Yeah.
The fact that it's a mile and a half makes it even more so from pedigree standpoint, from tactics standpoint. Who knows? I mean, what I'm hearing from people is that they expect pace, a decent amount of pace in this race. So, and of course, because the Belmont being what it is, and the tendency for long prices to pop up, I'm going with a long shot, and I can't give you a lot of reasons why, but my top choice is the 8 Senior Investment. Won the Lexington. The horse's figures have never declined. He's been getting better. $95,000 yearling purse just at Keeneland. Decent enough finish at Pimlico, which generally holds more speed. Cloud Computing and Classic Empire got clear of everybody else, but Senior Investment beat Always Dreaming and beat everybody else in the field to finish third. Mile and a half. Maybe the distance will be a good thing for him. And I know I'm going to get 12 to 1. I don't think he's going to attract a lot of betting interest at the windows. The horse has been working steadily, or at least a couple times since the Preakness. So I'm really going out on limbs here. I don't. The one thing I can tell you is I don't really like Irish Warcry very much at all. Senior Investment is my top choice, and my second choice, oddly enough, is another long shot, is the 10 Multiplier. Brandon Walsh's barn has been doing well, 34% over the last 30 days, 2.57 ROI. And he's one of the horses who ran a decent clunk up 6th in the Preakness. And again, there's a lot of horses. He may be one that's closing late. I see that there are blinkers. They decided to add blinkers for this race. Again, a lot of people are talking about, well, he beat Hedge Fund in the Illinois Derby. And Hedge Fund isn't really much horse, but again, I'm really not enamored with anybody in this field enough to say that nobody is good enough, that any horse really isn't good enough to win. I'd love to be able to pick use the all button in this spot. Obviously, that's cost prohibitive. I will mention other horses later in the card, but for our ticket, I went with the 8 and the 10 as my top choices. And again, like Ray was saying, not a strong opinion. Just looking for somebody who may actually close, sort of like Creator did last year, to get up and beat Destin in the shadow of the wire. So 8-10 for me on top. I will talk more later about this race, but I will hand it off to Rich and ask him what his opinion of this Belmont is. It's a fascinating race from a betting standpoint for sure.
I'm always just so excited to get one race for sure where I'm not on the exact same horse that you guys are. So finally I got it here. It's in the Belmont state. I'm with everything that I've heard actually from the two of you so far. think it's a very, very tasty betting race. I would stay away from the favorite. I would stay away from Irish War Cry. My caveat is for anybody who's watching this who's saying, well, I'm going to listen to Rich. He really sounds like he knows what he's talking about. I want to put this out there. And Joe knows this. I meticulously track my betting and my stats, and Twin Spires is very good about giving you the information. So I came back. I like to say I came back to betting back in 2013, the year that Ford won the Kentucky Derby. So I pulled up all of my Belmont Stakes efforts ever since 2013, and the only time that I have actually hit the Belmont Stakes or had the winner in the Belmont Stakes was when American Pharoah won the Belmont. just put whatever I say here, take that maybe with a grain of salt, because if Todd's not going to win this one, I don't think he is. I don't think very well. And then Joe latched on to what ended up being my kind of final lifeline, I guess, here in the Belmont was Steve Asmussen last year. And we got knocked out last year when Creator won. Joe actually and Ray did some really nice handicapping for us last year. And we all screamed when Creator came down and won that one. So I'm looking at Lee here. Same reasons I've heard. I was looking for someone who's more of a closer. Again, I'm not a real good Belmont handicapper, and mile and a half, dirt, 3-year-olds. The only time I'll ever handicap this, I guess that's probably why. But I was just looking for someone who comes from the back. I couldn't think of anybody better that comes from the back than looking at Lee. He really comes from deep in the pack. It's Steve Asmussen and Irad Ortiz. That's not what you would think of as a big time combination. Get 9% together. He did come from far back in the Kentucky Derby to get second place, which is where probably the most of his green earnings, I would imagine, come from. He's got $942,000, and I would imagine a whole heck of a lot of that came from finishing second in the Runs and Roses. And then he was in the Preakness, chasing around and cloud computing, and as Joe mentioned, senior investment. He had a little bit of an awkward start. You see the race car kind of caught it there. Was that looking at Lee had a bit of an awkward break, and then he made his 3 to 5 wide bid. So I'd like to go back and watch that race again, based on what Joe said, to see if maybe I need to add senior investment to this ticket as well. And then Joe, you kind of hit on what I thought of as well was, well, for somebody who has as bad a record as betting the Belmont Stakes as I do, really the only bet here for me is that ALL button. I can't afford it because of what I wanted to do in the previous race. Unless I single in the first 2 legs, and I don't think I'm confident enough to do that. So I did like looking at Lee as my top pick here, and I'm going to leave it alone. I'm not going to go any deeper than that for our group ticket as far as that's concerned. I am not going to touch the favorite in this race. I'm going to leave Irish War Cry off of there and rely on the picks that I've already heard from. So on my own individual one, I would definitely have to go deeper. I like the 2. I like Caprit. And I'm trying to remember, if I'm not mistaken, I also like, all the way down here, Joe caught it, Multiplier and Patch. So I like a couple of those as well. But for here, just the 6 for Rich. For Joe, I've got the 8 and the 10. And for Ray, I've got the 2 and the 3. Come on back to you guys.
Keno.
All right, yeah. This
Well,
was
if I sing on the 2, I might spread the Belmont too. Yeah.
Yeah, I needed several Keno tickets.
Yeah.
Right, so
I might go Joe's route. I might go Joe's route, sing on the 2, and then spread the Belmont too. Never know. We'll see. I'll make another ticket.
Give me one moment here. I had some technical difficulties here at the start, so let me go ahead and bring up. This is our next segment here, and Joe and Ray are nice enough to share with us their individual Pick 4 tickets on a weekly basis. And as soon as I get my act together and get the document up here for you guys, I will turn it over to, as a matter of fact, Mr. Sherrado, you're going to go first this week because your closest proximity to Belmont Park. Do it. And there he is.
Yeah, I wish I could go too.
And if anybody wonders, I will be going ahead and putting together our group Pick 4 ticket while Ray and Joe take you through their individual Pick 4 tickets. And I apologize, guys, those are not the right amounts for your tickets at the very top, obviously.
Oh.
Go ahead, Ray, take it away.
All right. In my Pick 4, I'm looking at. I was gonna go 2 deep in the first leg. Roca Rojo looks very tough in this race. And I'm gonna take a shot with Antonone, another Chad Brown, at a price. I would probably make another ticket other than this also, signaling the 2, and I spread the Belmont. probably the same amount, and just to get some prices too. But I'm pretty confident in my other two legs too. And the Met Mile, well, I added the Oh, you don't have it. That the 11, yeah. I was gonna add the 11 Tommy Macho. For Paul Paulius. Unfortunately, they lost their favorite, most likely post-time favorite, Connect, due to injury. This horse has been running in many mile events and it won House Hope and the Fred Hooper, the Gulfstream, 2-4 at Belmont. I remember this horse won 2 Belmont cards ago in I think it was allowance race or the Easy Goal Stakes, one of those races. And he likes the track. Lewis eyes on him. So check the board for his action at the 11 there. On the Manhattan race, I got my four friends, I call them. The 4, 1, 2, 3. I was gonna add the 6 Potemkin. I decided to leave him off. He's still an option. He's 4 for 6 at a distance. He's comes to France, Germany. First time US, first time Lasix. Second start off the layoff. So Rosario have a roller. So I might add him. I have to see. But right now I'll go for 4, 1, 2, 3. Then the Belmont, I'll go too deep with my the budget constrictions here. I like Gormley and Tapit, and I'll go too deep there. So I think my ticket was $40. So I got 2 by 4 is 8, 16, 30. I had one more horse. The 2, Rich. I had
Daily
the
Fish.
2 and the leg 2, Rally Cry. Yeah. Steps up over 2 sharp races this year for Pletcher, and the mile might be his best distance. They got to take a shot. He stepped up in class, and like Joe mentioned him too. So he could sit in the pocket to follow the Sharpester and more Spurs. Sit in the pocket, and if those two get tired, he might be the first one to hit the front down the stretch. So that's my ticket there, $40, and it's a good pool. So guys, play a picks, and good luck. Joe, up to you.
Thanks, Ray. Okay, Broca Rojo was a single for me in leg 1. Don't need to go into any more detail about that. The 2 horses that I was going to add for the Mohegan Sun Metropolitan Handicap, Ray mentioned Tommy Macho. He got stopped cold in the Carter at Aqueduct last time out, and he's going to sit a lot better trip. He's going to sit outside of horses. He's not going to get stuck inside. So if he's going to be good enough, he's going to have the ability to do it. He's not going to get I wouldn't expect the traffic problems that he had last time. I'm sure Saez will learn from that. And obviously, being that he drew in post 11, he's going to probably go the overland route, similar to my top choice, Awesome Slew. So I like him a little bit. And I also like the 7 economic model. He won on this day last year. He was the one who won the Easy Goer. He's done well at Belmont, obviously all around 1 turn because he doesn't run 1.5 miles because that's the only way you could run 2 turns at Belmont if you're running on dirt. He likes the track. Obviously, like I said, he won the Easy Goer, finished 2nd in the Dwyer last year, finished 3rd in the Bold Ruler earlier, also last year. The race, that comeback race was probably a prep for this. And one thing I've learned, obviously watching Chad Brown win on Cloud Computing, everybody's always dazzled by the Chad Brown turf horses, Beach Patrol, Wake Forest, all those. But you got to pay attention to Chad Brown on the dirt too. And Cloud Computing was 12-1 in the morning line. Economic Models 15-1. I'll take my chances with if I can get Chad Brown and Irad Ortiz. Don't overlook this horse. He's got a shot to win this. He's going to sit a nice trip. He'll be one of the pace pressers, and if the pace duel that could develop does, he'll be sitting in a nice spot. And I think he's got a chance. Like I said, he likes the track. Maybe he'll sit the Frosted trip from last year. He's not going to run as well as Frosted. Let's not make that mistake. But he's going to be. He should be in a good spot, and he might be good enough to win the spot. And at 15-1, Chad Brown, I'll take that even on the dirt. The other horse I wanted to add for the Manhattan was the horse that Ray mentioned, Wake Forest. If you look back in his PPs, it seems as if most of his bad races are run on yielding or soft turf. his first race at Arlington in the Arlington Million was against the Pizza Man. He ran a yielding turf. He ran sixth. After that, he reeled off 3 nice races. Then, of course, he again, maybe it was the Arlington Million that he didn't like because he ran poorly in the race again. But then second in the Northern Dancer, third in the Canadian International, third in the Red Smith, won the back Darmida, and again lost the Man of War to Zukova on a track he probably didn't like. I don't think Chad Brown would run him back this quickly if the horse wasn't doing well. And at 8-1, I think he's definitely got. I would like him better than the other 2 Chad Browns just on price alone. 8-1, I think he's got a chance to do some damage here. And obviously, we know he won the Man of War over this surface. In the Belmont, the race was so difficult. Like I said, I ended up on the 8 and the 10 as my top choices. I like Taprit as well. Ray mentioned him, I think, briefly in his summation of the race. A little bit of a trouble trip in the Derby. Seems like he's got breeding good enough to last for a mile and a half. Should not have the traffic issues that he had last time. Jose Ortiz stays. Pletcher at 6-1 seems pretty reasonable to me. Ray's already touched on Gormley. He would be another horse that I would use on my pick 4 ticket. Espinoza comes east for the ride. Only Grade 1 winner and a 2-time Grade 1 winner at that. Again, now those are both at Santa Anita. He's got to prove that he can win outside of Arcadia. He actually won at Del Mar too, so I guess maybe that's a myth. Maybe it's outside California that he's got to prove that he can win. And the other horse I would mention is the 4 J Boys Echo. Based on his races, he's only had one race probably good enough to win this race. But the Gotham was a really nice setup, and he could sit a really good trip if there's a good pace that develops in front of him. Robbie Alvarado decided to come back. Obviously, he's no longer injured. He gets back aboard J Boys Echo. He was the regular rider he was on when he won the Gotham. And again, 15-1, he's a horse that I have to throw in. And one of the great things about the Belmont being such a good betting race is you're going to get a decent price. And unless Irish Roar Cry wins, and maybe even if he wins, the winner's probably going to pay double digits in the win pool. So my ticket was $30, as you see it on the screen. And I hate seeing that minus 298. So I got to do something about that. So I'm banking on Roca Rojo and spreading in the other legs. Rich?
All right. Come on back. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I really appreciate that. Get our Group Pick 4 ticket up. We've got an interesting one here. Hang on for a second. Hang on. Okay. Now, the first decision we got to make here, and I've got a $27 ticket up here, so we've got some room. But in the first leg, I just got the 2 and the 7. You guys both were on Roca Rojo, Red Rock, so the 2 definitely goes in. And I had the 2 on there as well, not as my top choice, but you guys had it as the top choice. And then Ray and I both also had the 7 as our top choice. Now, in our little Democratic thing, now we put the 2 and the 7 as our leg 1. My top pick was the 1, Dickinson, who I think is the co-favorite. I think we kind of had the whole discussion already. But I left the 1 out at this point in time. So we've got some room, we've got some flexibility to put her back in if we want. But right now, we just got 2-7 in that first leg. Second leg got a little bit tougher. I've got the 5, the 12, and the 9. This is that top line of the slot machine choice. So I believe Ray's top choice was Sharp Azteca. Joe, your top choice was the 12. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. That's Infinite.
Awesome Slew.
Awesome Slew. And my top pick was, I ate the chalk in that one. So I've got Bob Baffert. I'm not going to have the bobblehead dogs staring at me. So I've got the 9. So we've got the 5, the 12, and the 9. I know that Joe also had the 2 on his top line. And Ray, you also had the 8 and the 12 on your top line as my back. All right. On to leg number 3. This was really tough. We've got Ray's Little Pony, World Approval. And that actually was Joe's top pick, as we said. We did a little Freaky Friday stuff here today. We've got the 4, and that's one of the Chad Browns. That's the least familiar of the 3 Chad Browns that we've got. That's Time Test, who also made the bottom line on mine. And then 9 is Sadler's Joy. And Joe, I believe Sadler's Joy made your top line, and that was my top choice as well.
Mm-hmm.
Belmont Stakes. Let's see, Ray, I believe your top choice was the 3, and Joe, I believe your top choice was the 8, and Rich, that's my top pick. So again, this is the top line of the slot machine, the 386. And that puts us at $27, or I believe if we want, we could go ahead and we can add. I'm not crazy about adding Dickinson at this point in time because it's such a short field, and putting 3 in there. On my ticket, I think I went. If I look at the thing, I think I went 1-2, and I decided to split Chad Brown in this push.
Well, adding Dickinson would make it a 40.50 ticket, $40.50, just so that we're aware of what that would cost.
Yep.
And
I think leg 3.
Wow,
That's a pretty wide open race. Wake Forest, Beach Patrol.
the problem is they're all wide open. It's
Yeah.
I mean, the leg 1 is the shortest field, and to go 3 deep.
Unless you take a chance and just going to 2, which I have no problem with that. But then he like
Dickinson. Yeah, I mean, if we wanted to, if we want to leave Dickinson off, and if we want to take out the second Chad Brown and single the 2 here, then we can, that'll leave us some flexibility if we want to open up in the Woodford, the Manhattan.
In any of the other races.
Oh, yeah, the races, yeah. That was the race that looked like we went the deepest. Ray's good on leg 3, so Ray's missing the 1 and the 2 that were also on his top line. And Joe, you got the 3 in your line. Okay, you got
both. Yeah, because the 9's on your top line.
Yeah, the 9. As much as it pained me to do it to go away from Chad Brown, although as you saw on my individual ticket, there was no way that I was going to single the 9. I'm bombed away in the turf. Thoughts? Any opinions here on that first leg? I mean, do we want to?
Well, my opinion, I've already said I would single the 2 anyway, so that's fine with me. It's up to you guys, really. If you guys want, like I said, I'll do Democratic. It's fine by me. Whatever.
Look at
Well, if you single the 2, you can add the 1. You can add in Beach Patrol then. Right? You could also add in. I'm blind right now. Who's the 2?
The 2, Wake Forest.
Wake Forest. Okay, so now you've got all 3 of your Chad Browns back in, right?
5 deep.
The 2 and the 4.
Yeah.
And you got 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're 5 deep there.
Yeah, and that ticket's $22.50.
About leg 2, anybody?
Yeah, Joe, you've got on leg 2. Joe's got the 2 as well.
Like I said, Rally Cry.
Right.
Leg 2, the 5, and Ray has the 8. Oops.
8. Yeah, so now that
I was the only one who had the 8. I was the only one. So
that's now 37.50. 5 by 5 is 50. 5 by 5 is 25 times 3 is 75. Cut in half.
If I was the only one who had the 8, but 2 of us have the 11.
Tommy Macho.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That might be more of a consensus there.
Oh, you're talking about you guys' individual tickets. No, I mean, when you guys handicapped me, you gave me the 5. You gave me 5, 8, 12, and Joe, you gave me.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, I know. I said I did 12 too.
Okay, yeah. That was an add-on. Right, you're right. Yeah. Okay.
So then, you can do it like that. You can do 4 times 5, which is.
And then what do we do in the Belmont? Do we add 1 in the Belmont?
And then who is in the Belmont that we're missing? It would be either the 2 because that was on Ray's top line, or the 10. Joe, that was your top line. But the 10 is multiplier, and who was the 2?
Tappert.
Tappert the 2. Multiplier was the 10. Yeah.
Yeah, but I know I mentioned Taproot. Taproot would probably be. I mean, again. So well, okay. If we go 4 by 4 by 5,
It'd be 40.
that's 40. Yeah. So if we add, let's say, add the 2, and like 4. 4 by 5 is 20 by yeah, $40. Okay, just making sure. I mean, I'm okay with that.
All right. So,
Ray,
Okay.
okay, so let's just make. I just want to make sure that, and I use this argument with Rich all the time. Well, not argument. I use this point with Rich all the time. If we were being that we're singling the 2, we're putting $40 on it. Are you willing to, if you had to single the 2 or bet the horse to win, would you be willing to put $40 on the 2? Because that's basically what we're doing.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I mean, I guess I'll go first now. Maybe you guys saw I have the check mark on the 1, so unfortunately, I wouldn't because I'm looking for the 1
Right.
to take out the check. But and again, when I do these pick 4s, we've never done that for our show. Is that little philosophy of how do you bet a pick 4? And recently, I've changed a little bit. I really am looking for pick 4 to give myself some flexibility, give myself some opportunity down the line. And I've done this a few times now, where I've gone back and for lack of a better word, you've got to split your 2s somewhere. I've got to split either more spirit or sharp Azteca or take in
Right.
red rock here to get down to my single. So
Right.
I ended up singling more spirit.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I guess I was willing to single. So I guess I would have to say, yeah, I'd be willing to bet $40 on the 2 if I had to. Of course, I wouldn't take him at 9 to 5, but
Right. Yeah.
But in a pick 4 sequence where you've got a lot of coverage in the other 3 races,
Right.
that's not problematic.
right. No, generally 9 to 5 is not going to play like 9 to 5 if you're playing a pick 4 sequence, but
Yeah. Heck, even the favorite in the Belmont is only 7 to 2 on the morning line.
right. So Ray, is that would you be willing to put, if you had to put $40 on the 2?
Yeah.
All right.
I would.
Okay. Then I guess this is what we'll go with.
All right.
So
We got the 2 with 2, 5, 9, 12, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, with 2, 3, 6, 8. Yeah, it was almost Ray's password in his computer again.
welcome back. Well, we did also decide to come back on probably one of the tough, like Rich was saying, one of the toughest cards
Of the year.
you will ever see.
This is
I mean, and the thing about it is, it's like they're. I mean, even the
We should
turf.
play that ticket also with the 1 and the 1 and the 7. And I said 1. No, with the 1 and the.
I mean, well, that's. Well, you know what? That's a possibility. Plus, it always seems as if there's at least
the
one.
one.
But the thing is, it always seems as if there's 1 or 2 scratches also.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
It seems, at least as of late, it seems as if there's always a scratch or 2 from off of our ticket that makes a change. So I mean, given that we're 4 by 5 by 4, there's always a chance that we're going to get at least 1 scratch that's going to affect the ticket. So
Yeah.
Hopefully that beautiful weather and that big purse money, we won't see that though.
yeah, well, hopefully.
Yeah.
But then again, I saw big purse money out here, and I saw 3 horses running a grade 1 last week. So as much as I'd like to think the money matters, it's not always the case.
I believe that was in the racing, the hinterland. All right, that was way out in that California place that happened.
Yeah. Except that we were there.
Yeah, I know. All right. Let me keep this discussion. You guys have our pick 4 ticket, and for those of you watching,
Well, I have a best bet tomorrow.
You know what?
If you say Songbird, I'm turning off the radio.
Exactly. Before I wrap this up, Ray's going to give us his best bet tomorrow.
If you say Songbird, I'm shutting down the monitor.
Oh well.
Oh well.
Race 5, Songbird.
Gosh. Click. I'm done. I'm going on break for another 3 weeks. I'm out.
At least breaking this. At least give us, try and sit there and say race 5, number 5. Just look it up. Just don't throw it out there like that. Great. Okay.
Ray, why don't you just tell me that the horse is going to run 3rd? So bet Songbird to show. I mean,
I'm gonna bet the time. Bet the time. What the time of the race?
Okay. For those of you watching, if you enjoyed the show, we're going to be back next week because after our break, that's still what the Free Broke guys do. So we're going to get together to take a look at another exciting card. I haven't had a chance to discuss this with Ray and Joe, but I have a feeling that we're going to head back to the homeland of racing for what is in all likelihood our final visit to Churchill Downs for 2017. It's I believe it's the Stephen Foster Handicap and the Fleur de Lis. We did this one last year as well. So. Gentlemen, that's all the time we have for tonight. It is always a pleasure to handicap with you.
Yes, always a pleasure. Glad to be back. Glad to be back.
Yep, absolutely.
For Joe English and Ray Torado, I'm Rich Sharp. Thank you for watching Free Broke Guys Handicapping. Good luck. Good night.